Hey guys, so I'm gonna have to do a quick voiceover just to let you know because I fitted the microphone to the helmet, or refitted because I had it fitted ages ago on my old bike, but I'd fitted it to this helmet and hadn't actually tested it at this point, so it didn't sound great. So I've just had to do a quick voiceover on this. So it was windy that day as well. It was raining quite bad, and I was basically heading off to Kawasaki to get some bolts to replace some of the parts that I was putting back to standard on that bike. You would have seen the quick intro that would have shown you the bike with the top box and the mud guards and stuff. It was someone had gone to town on that bike. I mean, thoroughly gone to town on it. It's a very difficult bike to ride because of it. I was in iron where it had bar risers. It weren't great. So yeah, so I was doing a quick video just to obviously go through the motor vlogging, just give you an update as to where I was. So anyways, back to where I was at that point. So at this point I had been with the bike a number of weeks, and I found it quite comfortable, and I was like, this shouldn't be right because it's meant to be a comfortable bike. That was the first thing. So before I could even actually enjoy it and enjoy the power and get used to handling the bike, I had to question a lot of stuff. So the top box was number one. That thing was rattling real bad. I took the top box off, and then I had to get the frame off that came from the top box. Well, that used all sorts of crazy screws and things that weren't standard, so I had to go to Kawasaki to replace those. Alongside that as well, the bar risers that it had on there, as I said, I'd been questioning them because it wasn't clear that I'd had bar risers on them. So at this point I'd disassembled the handlebars to have a look at these bar risers, because I'd been to like 2 or 3 different places. Some of them said I had bar risers, some said I didn't. And yeah, so we ended up having to take the screws out, which I can show you pictures of that. Having to take the screws out of the bar risers to put the standard ones in, which again didn't have when I was going to Kawasaki. So yeah, my handlebars were loose when I was going down there. As crazy as that sounds, they were tight, but I mean they weren't secure, if that makes sense. So they were tight, they weren't coming loose, but there's nothing like a solid mass of metal per se to stop things from coming loose, which is what I was heading to go get. So yeah, that was the journey. I'd also started explaining that I'd had a CBR 600F before that. It wasn't really well looked after per se. It'd been sat for a while, and you know what E10 feels like. It goes gloopy, it goes horrible. So I ended up having to go through and try and clear that out. I got the MOT on it. I got it okay. I was going under the assumption, because a lot of people think this as well, that 2012 CBR 600F is close to the RR, just down tuned, and it's not the case. The best way to describe that bike when I tore it apart was, if you'd have got yourself a CBR 600 F4i Sport and you just threw a load of like modern gubbins and bits and pieces for that on that bike, that is literally all it was. It was like a real cheap CB frame that was incredibly heavy for what it was, a load of new electrics crammed on it, not even core packs like CDI units. It had, I mean, this thing was old school. It heated the around the choke off some weird water system that went through the injectors, almost like an old car bike. If you're new to biking and you get given one of them, fair play, but I would never suggest anyone to go get one. There's far better bikes that are cheaper and newer to get. It's one of those niche bikes that actually, it has a nice place, but there's so many different things that are so much better at the same price range. So yeah, the CBR 600F was a nice bike, but I went from that to this. So yeah, that's the journey. That was where I'd got to so far in terms of bikes. I didn't really put much content up for the CBR 600F. I did really want to, but yeah, I didn't manage to. If I did, then I will post it, but I don't think I did. So anyways, yeah, so I'm heading off to the Watford Lloyd Keep, I think it was. I also started explaining that, yeah, so basically what happened with those bar risers, as I thought that I'd actually had bar risers on there, but as I said, people said that I didn't. Turned out I did. One of the downsides to having bar risers is you're even more upright on a bike. It's 1000cc on 140 brake horsepower. Problem with a bike like that is you can't open it up, and when you do try and give it just a little bit, the front wheel's trying to come up on you. You literally have to try and throw yourself over the front end. It's very, even though the bike's front heavy, it becomes rear heavy. It's really stupid. So I'm not a fan of bar risers. If you're a real slow cruiser and you go through, you know, the lanes, you do 40 mile an hour, you're just chilling out, then it's not a problem. But yeah, they're not functional. So I had to put them off. I stuck them on eBay. And one of the other things I also did as well was I swapped out because it's the Ninja 1000 SX Performance. I swapped out the rear, I don't know what people call them now, like the seat replacements, like a plastic fairing seat. I put the proper seat on the bike, because if you've got a bag on and you're riding, your bag is scratching the crap out of that. And again, if the bike's thrusting you back, trying to wheelie because of your silly handlebars, the minute your butt touches that, there is no grip. It's like sitting on glass. So I also opted to take that off and put a normal seat back on it. And yeah, that's pretty much where I was up to. I've also been explaining that, yeah, this is the first proper opportunity I've had to have something nice since my mum died back in 2020. So yeah, that was the motive for me getting that. One of them. It's something I always wanted. Like when I went with my dad to get the Ninja 300, that was the one I wanted, but I'd had my license 5 minutes, so I couldn't have it. Also, the other thing as well that I was going to talk about was my plans for it. So I had the idea of basically fitting some panniers to that Ninja 1000 and doing a sound system on the bike. It's something different. I've spoken to a few people about it and they're like, oh my god, if you do it, let me know. So it's something that I kind of want to do, but again, as I said, one step at a time. I need to get this bike functional. Yeah, I'll play audio from the video footage, but yeah, as I said, if you can't hear it, you can't hear it. But I'll try my best to try and clean it up. But yeah, as I said, the microphone was just in the wrong place.
Yeah, definitely think this video will be more fun. Well, me doing videos will be more fun than just a talking head if I'm out and about riding, I think. So I will experiment with this microphone. So at the moment it's getting absolutely pelted by my jacket's what should we call them? Strings. I can hear it. It's driving me mad. So I need to get a new jacket, some new bike gear, etc, etc. Not ripping your arms off, you know what I mean. A bit vibrating than high RPMs. Jesus Christ, it's an ER6 on the roids, mate. That's what this is. If you got two ER6 engines and slapped them together, that's this. Wow. That's what this bike feels like. TER6s. having a mating call between each other at high RPMs. It even feels like it as well. I had nothing wrong with this bike, right? But yeah, it is literally two ER6s. Anything below 6.5, it feels like a genuine 1000cc engine. All you hear is induction noise in this bike. This bike is all induction noise. Man, it's so heavily restricted by that cat. It's unreal. I feel a little bit of vibration in the pegs. No more so than you get in the R6, definitely. It's a solid bike, but yeah, that engine, I'm not sure. And I think that Akrapovic can is definitely not restrictive. Right? The can is not the issue, it's the cat. But it definitely quietens this engine down, because I'm necking it and all I'm hearing is the engine roar for the induction. It's mental to me. Like, it really roars in that induction. Absolutely roars. All you hear is whoop. Pop it in closed box noise. Don't get me wrong, I'm all up for induction noise, right? But yeah, there's a few things I need to do to make this bike how I want it. I will also admit, oh god, touching those front mudguards is a problem. It throws the steering off massively. Such a dumb decision. I do not like them. I'm going to be taking those things off. Oh. It's very hard to speed on this bike, I can tell you that much. What's this guy doing? He should have technically been in the other lane, because I was in the middle lane, he should have been in the left lane. What is he doing? He's got... Yeah, that's another annoying thing. Because of emissions, this bike is very lumpy in that first, second and third, more first and second. If you're in a low RPM like this, it's like blah, 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 blah. I can feel it. It's not smooth. Even now I can feel it. Ugh, between the there's always two lorries like that in there, always. It's so lumpy, you have to hold the clutch in, it's like blah, 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 blah. And it's not because the RPMs are too low. 6 miles an hour first should be more than capable. It's very... I can hear it from its idle. It's the actual engine, it's not even the bike. It's so lumpy. Ugh. This thing definitely needs a flash tune. I will admit the CBR 600F was also a little bit lumpy, only a little bit. The one that was butter smooth. And again, I'm saying it to for a second time, is that CBR 600. Oh wow, now that was smooth. The old shape, the 09 shape I had, butter smooth. That's the only thing wrong with this bike. It's lumpy down the bottom end, and the emissions have really ruined this bike up the top end. But that's neither here nor there. That'll affect all bikes. that you can't fit between them two lorries. That is a tight gap. This is a wide bike, and what a horrible piece of road to have to stop on. If you can't tell in this video, which you won't be able to, it's on a horrible gradient that's slanted to the right, as well as dipping down and about to go uphill. So if I stop, I feel extra pressure pushing me to fall to the right, so I'm having to lean to the left as I'm riding. It makes things so much harder to do. One of the things I've been thinking of doing was swapping this Acro can, because they go for silly money. Who's paying £600 for a butt can? Silly money. I mean, it's considered one of the best. Depends what you want from your bike. I mean, if I wanted a loud, deep tone, I don't know if I'd go Acro. It depends what I was asking for them. If I just wanted to be obnoxious with it, I'd probably go for like a GP Moto Black Widow, one of the short stubby ones. You want substance behind the sound, you know, like some sort of like smooth purr. You can get that from a £200-300 can, £300-400 can. And I think the Acro, right, is just that same noise, but just slightly muffled down, so it's quieter, because it's a longer can. That's what I get from that. I probably shouldn't. I'm not going to, because I'm not turning right, I'm going left. So yeah, I looked at Leo Vince, and that thing's a chonker. That's a fat boy, but it'll have a good note to it, I think. Potentially a real good note. Can't imagine it being very loud. The one I considered was the Arrow. I can imagine it being a little bit louder than this, same tone, more or less. And in fact, it's got a slight rasp to it afterwards. So after the, you know, on the high revs, it's got a raspy sound to it. It's like, you know, your favourite singer has got a bit of a rasp to his normal voice because he's used it a lot. That kind of noise. The other one I considered was the MIV, but it's too much money. Again, it's like £800 for the MIV for this bike, and I can't justify that either. When you think about it, you're paying £600 for the can again. It does sound good, but I think Arrow's got it nailed down. The Arrow doesn't look as good as the rest of them, but it sounds good. Right, I need to be in. Oh, they're cutting down the roundabout, really? Support our trees, man. Oh, that was scary. Something just banged against the lorry door. Yeah, anyways, so that's the back can situation. So there's a few others, like Black Widow do some back cans, and to be honest, some of them sound real good. Again, not very loud, some of them too loud. But I think what's more important to me than the noise of that can is the baffles. I mean, if Leo Vince is still like they used to be, they used to have a double baffle system I had on the Ninja 300, where I had an inside baffle and an outside baffle. The inside baffle, well, let's just say you had both of them in it to sound like a deeper tone standard exhaust. You take the back baffle out and it becomes automatically louder. No, I wouldn't say louder, I'll say deeper. With the first baffle out, it sounds deeper. Oh, that's a bit of a weird gear change there on the shifter. But yeah, back baffle out. No, front baffle out. It's obviously louder, but it's deep, like real deep. You think, damn. And you take the other baffle out, it's even louder, but it's got more of a raspy tone. That's how Leo Vince done it. It was perfect because you could customise the noise how you wanted it. Kinda don't want to take a risk on them because they do look ugly. They do have one can that's just come out, the LV can. I think it's the LV14, I think it's called. Now that looks amazing. But can't find it anywhere. And it's not cheap, it's like 450 quid, 460 quid. The other option, I had one before, GP motor, I had it on the CBR 600 because I put one on there. It was loud. It was raspy, loud. It wasn't necessarily that deep, just raspy and loud. I mean, it didn't sound overly bad or anything. Just an aggressive cat. Quality was good, baffle was garbage. But yeah, well, the baffle too was cracked down a little bit, but it's still just as noisy. Well, we're not after London, we're after Watford, so it's telling me to turn left. Huh? Alright. Whatever. More tempted the Arrow, you can get that cheap. The thing is, I think the Arrow is like $670, and then I can sell a back can for about 200 quid, you know, because it's not, you know, it'd be a brand new can. It's not from a reseller, you know. There's no warranty. Even though there's no warranty anyway, it's people had this illusion that if they buy it from a shop, they got warranty, like the shop will take it back. Let me tell you something. You buy a can for a bike, any bike, and you try and return it, good luck. I had this before with, was it Delcovic or SP Engineering? They were not interested. I had a problem with it on my bike. Well, to be honest, the Delcovic was just stupidly loud. It was just obnoxious, pointing in the air, horrible in the Ninja 300. But I tried to return it, and they were not interested. Once it's installed on a bike, not interested. And before it's even installed on a bike, they'll be inclined to take it back, but with a surcharge. It's like, what? Again, the SP Engineering can was quite aggressive. It didn't point in the air like a Delcovic, but it was quite aggressive. And their baffles, what baffle? You may as well just say it was baffleless, because it had a baffle, but I'll give you an example. The Delcovic one was a little piece of pipe that sat in the middle of the hole, and all the exhaust gases could come down it. There was no obstruction whatsoever. It was pointless. It's like a piece of metal balancing by a screw, like it's going to snap off, especially with all the heat and stuff. It's just, yeah, absolutely stupid design. Stupid design. And the SP Engineering, I had a baffle, but it was just like a straight pass through. Pointless. I had the same with the GPR exhaust, but it was definitely more obstructive. Like it was a whole piece that had a hole in the middle that went in the exhaust, but that hole was a pass through. So what you're doing is just passing less air through the same hole, but it's still a straight pass through. It's no like, you know, a wall that the air's got hit and then pass through smaller holes elsewhere. M11, this is the M1. Do you know what, I really don't like this motorway. It's got one of the highest rates of like fatalities and stuff on this motorway. It's a nasty road for down south, definitely. Yeah, anyways, the downpipe for the Arrow system anyway, getting into SP Engineering and Delcovic cans, so each to their own. As I said, you don't really use a baffle. Yes, the Delcovic and the SP Engineering cans are fine. They're fine. It's just if you want a baffle and one day you need to make it quiet, or you go on MOT6, it's too loud, yeah, they're no good. You better keep your standard can. That's all I'm saying. GP Moto, Delcovic, SP Engineering, I don't know about any of the others in that respect, apart from Leo Vince and Arrow. But you better be keeping your standard can if you want an MOT. So that's that. This is another horrible roundabout. It was notorious like 10 years ago when I was coming, well, 10 years, almost 10 years ago now, when I was coming to work. I'd see the bit that's nasty. Now I need to get into the left lane, and this is where the chaos begins. Not one month will let you in, so don't even try it. And then this happens. You see that? Right there. I knew that this roundabout was bad. So anyways, yeah, not to throw fire on Djokovic or SB Engineering. Yeah, as I said, the noise from cans, you know, is subjective. So each to their own. Just as I said, remember, MOT wise, the cheap cans, you're not going to get for an MOT with them, especially if you've got a straight pipe on your bike already. You know, you're taking the cat out. Good luck getting an MOT. This bike's telling me to take the right, really? Man, he must have changed what for the lot. Yeah, so use the road, keep your standard can. That is what it is. The one that I was considering was the Arrow exhaust, full system, because yeah, as I said, it's 675, and we're at 675. Yeah, we're at 675. You think about it this way: if I sell the can for 200 quid, for example, with brand new untouched, it's 200 quid back on it. It's cost me 400 quid, and I can still keep the Arrow. Now, it works out cheaper than buying the Acro downpipe, which is 560. And not only that, the Arrow and the Acro system, to be honest, the downpipes look identical. Thick metal, solid construction. They got the spring retention on the exhaust ends that go onto your manifold. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it would make no sense to just go buy the Acro just to see you got an Acro downpipe. Like, really? No one cares. And my other experience as well is I had a Black Widow system on the CBR. Now that metal, like, the welds were amazing, exceptional, I'm not gonna lie to you, but the metal itself, the exhaust, man, that was thin. The bit where it actually matted and you joined onto your end can, yeah, mate, that metal was thin. I'm not gonna say it was weak, but it was just very thin. It didn't inspire confidence, and it changed colour very quick. Not much use. So I personally feel to myself, I had to. I couldn't help myself. Oh, that's a deep tone. As I said, good old Acro. What's this twat doing? Yeah, anyways, so that's the situation. So the Acro, well, I'm here now. Kind of. Can't go straight. Yeah, so the Acro system, wow, as I said, we may as well get the Arrow and sell the can off. What do I think of the Acro can? I love the little sticker on it. It says, like, you know, Kawasaki. It made for Kawasaki Ninja 2006. I think it's pretty cool, but it's just a marketing gimmick. That's all that is. You know, if you buy it separately, you won't get that sticker. It's like, really? But you obviously can buy them, because when I bought this bike, it had no exhaust sticker, yet they put a fresh one on. So, well, you tell me. So they must be viable from somewhere. Anyways, guys, I'm here at Kawasaki to get some bits of this bike, As I said, I've now got to repair some of the damage the owner previously I did. It had a top box, etc. So it is what it is. Motorcycles only. Oh, dirt. Security cars, right? Well, Bally. Well, right. So I took myself to Kawasaki Lloyd Cooper. Was it Lloyd Cooper? No, good. Yeah, Kawasaki Watford. Took myself to, and I was asking the guy about the Ninja 500, the Ninja 4 ZXR, the ZX4 RR, and the H2. I saw the H2, very similar to this, but a bit more aggressive than this, which is a bit odd. It just felt like a sports bike with a taller back end. That's what it felt like. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, so there's that. And then the other thing was the ZX4. That thing looks like a little fun weapon. That. Not too aggressive, but not sensible neither. And no stage is that a sensible bike. In the same category again, like it's just a toy. Would I have one? Hell yeah, I would. But the problem is they're so new that I wouldn't have one, if that makes sense. Maybe 4 years, 5 years down the line when they're more commonplace, I might have one. Yeah, but yeah, fun. Yeah, ended up letting me sit on them. So I tried the Ninja 400 and the H2SX. Oh god, I'm in the wrong lane. Are you? Oh, you are. I know where I'll end up anyway, so whatever. You want to see the state of this bike? These flipping guards, they're so dangerous. If you go for the brake and you hit the guard instead, you're not hitting the brake. Alright, come on. This road's also normally chaos in a weekday. I want to get back out of here before it starts raining again. So you've got two options. Jump the M25, which should take you onto the A1, or just turn around. Ain't gonna like it. Yeah, if you want an ER6F on roids, you buy this. Being deadly serious. This is the ER6F on roids. It feels like the ER6F on roids. It sounds like the ER6F on roids. Which by no means the ER6F a bad bike. It's actually quite a comfortable bike. It just, as I said, you're dead out on the horsepower. Yeah, you be screaming that thing. Right, so anyways, back to the bike shop. So yeah, there's something that upset me actually. I was like, have you got Ninja 500 here? It's about to have a sit on it. And the guy's like, well, it's a beginner bike, so I probably wouldn't bother with that if you got this. It's like, does it look like I want to buy it? And if I did, I'd have it as like a commuter. And it's like, oh. No, you wouldn't be looking at the ZX4. Let me tell you now about these garages. If there's a bike you want, they should not be shying you away from it. But I get that from garages all the time. I don't know if any of you lot have been to bike shops and stuff, and you go in to have a look at a bike, and the guy's like, yeah, well, no, if that's what you want, that's what you want. Don't want to hear it. I don't know which way is which. I have a feeling I'm going the wrong way, but I don't know. I know you're not. God, everyone's ripping down these roads. She was doing about 65 at least. Right, so anyways, guys, the garages should not be pushing you to only sit on what they want you to sit on. Only sit on what they think they're going to get a sale out of, because you might surprise them. Yeah, I'm just irritated. That really wound me up actually, to be honest. Like, come on. Like, I'll go in there looking for a bike and the guy's like, nope. You let me send the HT and the ZX4, but not the Ninja 500, like really? I'm not going to go from this to a Ninja 500, am I? I'm not stupid. But I did want to sit on it to see what they're like. And he's like, oh yeah, but... if that's how he was thinking, he should have just let me sit on it and just say, look, it's basically the same as yours. Or don't let me sit on it and say it's exactly the same as yours. The seating position, everything. It's just a lighter bike with less power. That's more fuel efficient, cheaper for parts. Yeah, so to throw fire on the Ninja 500 like that, to say it's a crap bike, it's like, is it though? Who are you to be the judge? So yeah, so if I'd have gone in there and been like, I want to buy a Ninja 500, I reckon he would have pushed you away from it and pushed you towards the ZX4 and said, oh, trust me, it's much better. Of course it is. It's like twice the price. Nope. Yeah, when a bike's twice the price, I expect twice the performance, or twice the, you know, like the build quality, etc. Just really silly and backwards. No, because it is, you've definitely got to work this bike on low speeds, man, because it doesn't like, whoop. Flat bag, confusion in these cars, mate. Damn, this thing is mental. No, that torque. Damn, that torque is something unreal. Unheard of. It's like you having two 600s strapped together in terms of pulling power. What? Yeah, just wherever you think the 600's capable of pulling, double that, triple that, double that initial pull off, and triple that when it starts getting going. Woo. Damn. You can torque around cars, right, like they're standing still. Can I just point that out? Whereas the horsepower, the difference is, when you're on the power, right, on a 600, it's got to get right up then the upper, it's a lot of metal spinning very fast. This, it's a lot of metal spinning not that fast, but with authority. What are you doing? It starts flashing at you to change gear. You don't have to. That's how much power it has.